What up? What up? If you watching this on replay, my fault. Go ahead, skip to the 2 minute mark. Um, that's when I'm gonna start the video. I'm having trouble today. My fucking forearms is cramping like crazy. All right. The title of this, my forearms is cramping. Oh man. I just put that because I couldn't think of a title right now. I'm gonna show a couple videos, but yo, my forearms is cramping bad right now. It's like I've been working them because I want to get thicker forearms. You know what I mean? I feel like you can only look as good in the shirt if your forearms is kind of thick. You know what I mean? So trying to get my forearms right, but this one right here is just cramping. I was barely able to even like put moisturizer on, and it just kept locking up. So if I like suddenly just jerk real quick, y'all know why. It's because my forearms is cramping. I don't know why, because I get in enough sodium. I eat Celtic salt, which is has good magnesium and everything in it. So I'm not sure what's going on. But I ate a banana just now, and hopefully it'll start going away. But I've been working out hard in the gym. For those watching and who seen my video on how to get in shape and stuff like that, have y'all been working out? Have you applied anything that I talked about as far as getting acclimated in the gym with a new routine, just going to the gym? You know what I mean? If you have, let me know if you've been doing it and how's it been going. If not, what are you waiting for? Get your ass in the gym. Stop playing. You only get one body, so you need to take care of it because you only get one. You can't replace that body. You feel me? So, but I wanted to talk about this topic I seen today. Hopefully, my forearms don't cramp on me. Okay. Let me share the screen. All right. So Mark Rubio strikes deal. El Salvador to accept deported criminals and jailed Americans. All right. This is the way. Elon Musk posted this. I'm not sure why, but 40% of our prison population is already repaying its debt to society. In return, they receive a shorter sentence and learn a skill. This program is not available for rapists and murderers. They will help us build roads, hospitals, and schools. They will manufacture our show, and I guess it's a show more. I don't know. But anyways, we have offered the United States of America the opportunity to outsource part of its prison system. We are willing to take in only convicted criminals, including convicted U.S. citizens, into our mega prison in exchange for a fee. The fee will be relatively low for the U.S., but significant for us, making our entire prison system sustainable. So the plan is to start in this part where it says 40% of our prison population is already repaying its debt to society. Is this person talking about the American prison system? In return, they receive a shorter sentence and learn a skill. This program is not available for rape. Okay. This will help us build roads, hospitals, and schools. We offer. Oh, okay. My bad. I see it right here. I'm tripping. We have offered the United States. So I guess one of their people was writing this on the Twitter. So they want to take our prisoners, right, and have them work out there. Let me lead this back up. They want to take our prisoners. Maybe I should have blew this up and have them work out there. So the thing is this: taking our prisoners, one, that means now if you are in prison, you won't be able to see your family the whole time. Will that reduce the sentence even more because you're not able to see your family? They're not able to see you, or if they want to see you, they got to go all the way to El Salvador just to see you. I think that's kind of crazy. But two, if it's beneficial to them because they're going to help build roads and all of these different things in schools, why can't they do that here in America? Have some of these people go in there and really pick up skills. And all of these private prisons, what happened to these private prisons? I don't think private prisons is good because clearly they start feeling like they got to fill them up. And I think the more criminals you create, the more criminals you create. Meaning, when they're arresting people and giving them these long sentences for no reason, well, for a reason, but not the sentence, they're giving them max sentences for minimal crimes and stuff like that. These people who have committed some of these crimes may have families, may have kids, may have sons. And now these sons are growing up without fathers, and these fatherless sons are growing up and creating and becoming criminals themselves. So constantly putting people in jail is causing more criminals. But then they put them in jail and they're not teaching them anything. So now what they're going to do is ship off our criminals to another country, right, for a small fee. So now we also paying to ship off our criminals, which is crazy. And then on top of that, this other country is going to use these criminals to build up their country's infrastructure, which is creating more competition. For all that, why don't you just keep the American, what's good, DJ, IMB? Why don't you just keep the American criminals here and have them work on the infrastructure? Why send them off to some other country? It makes no sense. I'm not understanding how is this a good idea. It doesn't make any sense. Let's see what some of the comments say. Let me see. For those who are interested in using words as they are defined, an imprisoned criminal is detained as a consequence of a legal system enforcing punishment for a crime they were convicted of. A slave is held in bondage involuntarily, typically due to systems of forced labor, human trafficking, or historical institutions of slavery without committing a crime. But the thing is, the only thing about what he's saying right there is that is correct. That is the actual definition. And before I click on the replies, I wonder if anybody let him know, like, basically what I said earlier, if they putting people in jail for, they committed a small little crime, but they give them a max sentence. It's almost like a form of slavery. Or sometimes they be, giving people records that didn't deserve anything in the first place. You put them in jail for something that they didn't even do. So he's forgetting about that. Some people in jail that didn't do anything and at all, and they in there, and now they're working and doing things out there, and it's that would be a form of slavery. Let's see what the replies was. So you get arrested and convicted for a once of weed. I guess you can get convicted for weed once in Alabama and end up serving time in El Salvador. Boy, you crazy. Forcing anyone to labor against their will is slavery, no matter where it happens and no matter who does it, including our government. The fact that so many people are in prison unjustly for non-violent cannabis convictions makes this problematic. Yeah, it does. That's the problem. Even though, I guess if cannabis is against the law, it's against the law, but it's still like, first of all, once it started getting approved in a few states, it should just be approved everywhere. Wrong place at the wrong time. Yeah. It should just be approved everywhere. Why is it okay in certain places but not in others? It's at this point, I mean, I don't know how many states it's legal in, but at this point you might as well just make it legal everywhere. And how will this decide? Let's read some of the more comments. And how will this decide who gets shipped off? It's a play to get rid of minorities in the country, lock them up, many of them falsely, then ship them to El Salvador. Wow. Yeah. Since they're deporting people who will they need to do the jobs they don't want, they'll have prisoners do it instead. Do you know the percentage of Black men and women who enter the system for petty crimes and receive long sentences? That's what I'm talking about. I've never in my life seen such a naive and blind people. I guess in the water, it's in the water or something. I gotta get me a little split screen too in case y'all commented so I can see. But anyways, keep it going. Okay, let me keep it going. A lot of Republican politicians have been buying into different prison systems. This is a strategy for their pockets. This looks like a system that can be easily abused and manipulated. For sure. For sure. I'm not understanding why they think this is okay. And you helping out another country. And they charging you to take the prisoners. They're going to charge you, make money, and then they're going to use these prisoners to build their infrastructure to make the economy better. I'm not understanding that. With the outrageously high rates of false imprisonment and the imbalanced harsh sentences for non-white people, how is this anything other than slavery by another name? And how will it not be only non-white people getting sent to other countries to be slaves? This world is so immoral, it's ridiculous. It is, yo. You know what they should do? Send the white people. Just send the white criminals, and let's see how if they do it. They ain't gonna do that though. Why can't that be done in good old US of America? That's what I'm saying. We could do the same thing here. Not saying it's okay, because there's still gonna be a lot of false imprisonment and all of that stuff. But if anything, have the criminals here do the work, and it really make it the criminals that are facing serious crimes, that has committed serious crimes, so that way it's kind of like more balanced. You don't want to have somebody just, I'm just locking them up for a weed charge and then I'm gonna have them working. You know what I mean? Nah, have it where it's the criminals is convicted of some serious crimes. I'm curious as to why they aren't able to build roads here. That's what I'm saying. LOL, they can't do this, but they've been using the Constitution like toilet paper lately, so who knows? In return, they get a shorter sentence and have a trade for slavery. Yeah, so I feel like once they go to those El Salvador prison camps or whatever you want to call them, they're never going to make it out of there. They're not gonna make it back here. So legal in all 49 U.S. states. Idaho is the only state where it's illegal. What, weed? Nah, that's not true. It's not even legal here in North Carolina. Yeah, it's not legal here. Let me double check though. But well, I live here, but unless they just passed it. No. Yeah, it's not legal here. So I don't know. Let me see how many states is weed legal. How many states is weed legal? 24 states. Yeah, it's only 24 states that weed is legal in. So yeah, I don't think this is a good idea. Which I think. You think it's a good idea? Ship the people off, let them get a trade, and then come back, and they have reduced sentence time. I feel like as soon as they get out there, they're gonna get trapped, and they'll never make it out. So they say, yeah, we're gonna teach them a trade, and they're gonna do better for society and all of this stuff, and no, I feel like they're never gonna make it back unless they're gonna keep them, But I mean, if you get let out of prison, do you get let out of prison there? Because you say, hey, you know what? I just want to be a citizen here. Since you want to take me as a criminal, you should allow me to be a citizen here too. But they ain't gonna do that. Yeah, they're not gonna do that. Let me go to this other video. All right, so I wanted to do this video yesterday and I never did. So I'm gonna do it now. All right, here we go.
And talk about how successful they are and how intimidated men are.
Let me go back.
And they never say a word.
There we go.
We hear women come up and talk about how successful they are and how intimidated men are. And they never say a word about their character. And I just can't help but think about how turned off women get when men lead with money and lead with accomplishment and end up having nothing but unavailability and coldness and lack of emotional development, because that unfortunately is what it takes to succeed in certain career fields. You can look it up. And for some reason, women think that the success that they've amassed has somehow happened without them becoming devoid of a lot of the personality and relationships that men are devoid of. And they flex their accomplishments and money the same way men do. And somehow we make it different every time. No disrespect to you, but you didn't say about being a good woman. Nothing. We hear women come up and talk about how nothing. Why you didn't say no? I'm just gonna, all that, bro. Didn't say nothing about. This is about a larger point. This is not about her as an individual. We don't hear I'm successful, I got my degree, and I've been in therapy the last 3 years working out my issues. I just bought a house, and I also identified my childhood trauma, and it took inventory over my baggage, and I got it out the way. Oh, also, I'm loyal. My time management is on point. I do what I say I'm going to do. I'm considerate. We never hear any of it. What I hear is when say that y'all act like, when men say that y'all have turned into alphas, what we're talking about is the worst parts of manhood. Y'all have taken it on. Now, the problem with men is that we won't admit that those are the worst parts of us too. But shorty, y'all have taken the worst parts of what it means to be successful, and y'all wear that like a badge. Look at what it's done. Nothing. Why didn't say on us? If you need an example of what it looks like to only live in your accomplishments, look at the black men around you. You in a city full of them. Look at how devoid they are. Look at what it took them to get to where they are. Look at how underdeveloped some of them are emotionally. This is what you want? Is this what we're going to do, to let accomplishments be band-aids for that?
All right. So that's that. I'm going to go back.
We hear women come up and talk about how successful they are and how intimidated men are, and they never say a word about their character. And I just can't help but think about how turned off women get when men lead with money and lead with accomplishment and end up having nothing but unavailability and coldness and lack of emotional development, because that unfortunately is what it takes to succeed in certain career fields. You can look it up.
All right. So I do feel what he's saying right there. Because sometimes women do lead with that as if, we care. It's not that we don't care. Like, it's good to see that you're intelligent enough that you was able to do these things, and you're driven. It's cool, but it doesn't move the needle. It's not like the ice. It's not the. It's just the icing on the cake. It's not the thing that's going to make us feel like, you know what, I got to get with her, because she's ambitious and she has this and that and this. Usually, when men feel like that, it's because they struggling financially. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool to say, you smart, but at the end of the day, we don't care that much about your career. Like, I'm gonna read some of this, right? This woman put, he always gives broke man vibes. That's actually opposite. If a man cared that much about what you're doing and your accomplishments and your career and stuff, he's probably looking at you as someone who he can mooch off of, and this, and so you could take care of him. The same way when women look at dudes who like his accomplishments and all that. There's women out there who don't care about men's accomplishments. I know this to be true. As far as like what they do, I should say. They don't care about his money. Excuse me, I said that wrong. They don't care about his money. They could be proud to see that you're ambitious, but they don't really care about that person's money, because they don't see him for the money. They don't want him to be broke, but they don't see him for the money. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing. Like, if a man is caring that much about what a woman is doing, and oh man, she's making this much and blah blah blah, and she achieved this and that, it's probably because he's thinking, how can I eat off of that myself? Because if a man is, let's say he's making some great money, whatever that may be to you, listening, and he comes across a woman who has a good career, he's not thinking like, yo, like, man, she's doing this. Oh, that turns me on. Like, that ambition doesn't necessarily turn men on like that. It doesn't qualify you to become our lady because you're ambitious. Some men might say that shit, but they don't really mean it. And you can see it by their actions, because they will go for the woman who doesn't have anything going on, as long as she's not a like ratchet street rat type of chick. You know what I'm saying? Like, if a man sees a woman working at the restaurant that he's eating at, and she's fine enough, all that what she do for a living, that it doesn't matter. So he don't care about the ambition, as long as she's not lazy. Man don't want a lazy woman, but we don't necessarily need an ambitious woman. You can not be ambitious, but still also not be lazy. You know what I'm saying? Just because you're not ambitious doesn't mean that you're automatically lazy. It just means that, you don't really care to advance in your career, or maybe you haven't found what you actually want to do. So these are, it's not something that really gets us going. So it's not broke man vibes according to this person. It's just letting y'all know, like, look, we don't really care about that. We care about your character and all of these different things. The things that y'all care about, we don't care about. And the things that we care about, y'all don't care about. But for some reason, there's this misconception from women that they think that what they value, we should value. It doesn't work that way. And this comment right here, right? I don't know if I can see it. Let me make sure you can see it. Okay, yeah. Um, it says, once a man told me this years ago, it was so eye-opening. Why? That lets you know right there. How is it you don't know this by now? I hope this years ago was like when she was like a teenager or something, because as a grown woman, how is it you don't know this by now? The thing is, it's not even what men actually say. You can visually see this. You can see this in your favorite love story movies and all of that stuff, the rom-coms and all of these different things, certain sitcoms and all of that stuff. The man doesn't necessarily care what the woman, and most of your rom-com movies, maybe now it might change. It might have changed, but back in the day, it was always, rescuing that woman from her working as a waitress and this and that, you know what I mean? And this man comes and he has a good thing going on. It wasn't a whole, like, it wasn't she was super successful and he was just an ordinary Joe. If that's going on now, it might have changed because now they're trying to show women as being career women, but it wasn't the thing. You know what I mean? But it typically is not that way. Men typically just don't care. Are you beautiful? Well, are you attractive to me? How do you treat me? Do you balance me out? Do you bring me down when I'm highly stressed? Like, you bring me peace. Basically, when I'm in hope mode, can you bring me back to Bruce Banner? You know what I mean? That's what men are looking for. We ain't looking for, women that's super career driven and stuff like that. That now, it's not saying that we can't be with a woman who has a career, but it's not the thing that's going to make you more appealing to us. So stop pushing that narrative. Stop trying to change that in men. It's not the thing. You want to be career driven and super career driven, then you're gonna end up with one of either a super um a super simpish type of male. You're gonna be a simp more than likely, and you're not really gonna truly be attracted to him. Or you're gonna end up with somebody that's ambitious too, but it ain't gonna last because your careers are gonna take you on different paths. And if you're super ambitious, unless your careers are the same in the same area, if you're super ambitious, your career could take you somewhere else, and you're not gonna sacrifice. Somebody in a relationship has to sacrifice. If my career is saying I got to move to LA and your career is saying you got to move to New York, well, where are we going? Like, somebody has to say, okay, I'm gonna follow you. And if the man typically follows the woman, it never really works out because he's sacrificing his career. And when he sacrifices his career, he's not being what he's naturally supposed to be, right? In most cases, the provider and protector that they want. So if I'm not the provider and protector, you will lose respect. And once a woman loses respect, one, respect is big for men, but also when women lose respect, they lose attraction. And once you lose attraction, it's over. So, but I'm gonna finish reading this one. Let me see if y'all saying anything in the comments. All right. He said, we don't care if you are a dog walker, if you treat us good, are feminine, willing to be submissive, sexual, and attractive, we are happy. Yes, and this is a woman saying, but I have always heard other women identify as good women as a woman with her stuff together, educated, owns a home, good government job, etc., but nothing about how she treats a man. So hearing him say this reaffirms what he told me, meaning the other guy. But like I said, the fact that somebody had to tell her that, like, you can see it. It shouldn't even take someone telling you this because you could see it. Observe the world. That's all you got to do. Just observe the world, and you should be able to come up with your conclusion yourself. It's not hard. Most of the stuff I learned about women wasn't because a whole bunch of women just told me stuff. It was because I observed. I pay attention. I listen to certain conversations and stuff, but they not like, it wasn't like directly saying, hey, look, take this piece of advice. That wasn't it. You just pay attention. Just pay attention. You pay attention to life, you know what I'm saying, and you'll see it. Television is always somebody's reality, loosely based, but it's somebody's reality. You feel what I'm saying? It's not completely made up. It's usually based off someone's reality. And if you watch enough of it, you can start to see it. I've been paying attention since I was young. So it's really not that hard. But all right, what's the next comment? Now I want to see what these people comment in return. Not me. And men were not. Oh, hold up. It's not in order. You right. Told you nothing but the truth. He told you right. Men have been saying this for years, but you call them whiners and women haters. Yes. Not me. And men were not very vocal before. Now, thanks to podcast culture, men's voices are being amplified. But we shouldn't have to say it. All you have to do is see the actions. And the actions has always been, it didn't matter what a woman does. If a man wants you because you look good and then you proceed to treat him good, doesn't matter what you do. How is that not? I don't know. It's somewhat difficult because you just got to see outside of yourself. You can't think. But I noticed that sometimes about women is that they whatever they view, however they view the world, people in general, but it's just a little bit more. However they view the world, they think it applies to everyone, even amongst other women. So certain things women will say, I'll have discussions with women, and they're like, "Well, I don't do that." I'm like, no, women don't do that because I don't do that. But or they say me and my friends don't do that. But it's like you and like 5 other women this year in your friend group. What about the billions of other women? Yeah, I don't see this going on. It's impossible for you not to see it because it's everywhere. So whatever that thing may be, you know what I'm saying? It's everywhere. Just pay attention. If you pay attention, you can see a bunch of things. So if you pay attention, you should be able to see that men don't care about what you do. That's a woman's thing. So how you feel about how men should be ambitious and all of this stuff doesn't mean that men should feel that way about women. Doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? Men, for centuries, it's always been like that. Even the stories of, the fairy tale stories sometimes of the kings and I'm trying to think of the word. I can't even think of the word. But like back when it was kings and queens, I can't think of the word. But, it would be sometimes the story of the prince finding a peasant woman, you know what I'm saying? And making her, the queen when he becomes king is because he doesn't care. You know what I mean? So I just never understood that. But men were always vocal, but again, women weren't listening, and they could get away with it because women had larger platforms catered to them who were able to drown it out or counter it with men and women who pander to women. Podcast culture has now left women with no choice but to listen, but men were always vocal. Yes, and that's the other thing. So a lot of women did, even some that I know, they will get mad because of they get mad. Like I had a woman tell me, "Oh, it's you listening to them podcasts." First of all, shorty, I think for myself big time. I go against the grain. My whole thing is about thinking twice. I can sit there and challenge my own thoughts back and forth. That's how I come up with my conclusions. I challenge my own thoughts. You know what I mean? Back and forth, back and forth. That's why it's hard for me to sleep at night. So everything I feel some of these podcasts are just reaffirming. It's not because I'm listening to these damn podcasts. Are you crazy? I'm a free thinker. You know what I mean? I think for myself. So it's just now women are hearing this more because it got to the point where men been fed up with it. But now if a man speaks, he's considered sassy and all of this stuff, or he hates women, forgetting that this whole thing started, particularly in the Black community, but overall, it started in the 90s on the sitcoms and all that stuff. And it was a lot of man bashing going on. You know what I mean? And it just got worse and worse and worse and louder and louder. And then social media came and it got worse and worse and louder and louder and louder to the point where, now for a man, it's hard to even get a woman now. Like, in a sense, you feel like it's easier because women out here, they're more sexually liberated. But now the standards for chicks is like low tier hoes. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know if I can say that because YouTube be like banning stuff, but low tier women who kind of are promiscuous, even they be trying to act like, yo, you gotta have this and that and this and that. And it's like, yo, come on, yo, you gotta chill. That wasn't like that, a decade or 2 decades ago. You know what I'm saying? I mean, shoot, back in the 90s sitcoms, you could do something romantic like, for a date, take a woman to, I mean, not even take it, you could invite her over and cook dinner, right? Like, I'm gonna cook dinner. You can't even do that now. You can't do that now. Like, I'm talking about like first date. He invited me over, he cooked me dinner. Now it's like, no, you gotta take me out, you gotta take me to Roof Chris and all of this stuff and blah, 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 blah. It's like, wow, like, why? Why do I gotta do that? They had a whole room one time on Clubhouse talking about dudes who want to take girls out on coffee dates or what they said, Jamba Juice or some shit like that. Coffee dates or smoothie dates, all of that. And I'm like, what's wrong with that? Why would I want to spend not all my money, but why would I want to spend so much money taking you out and I don't even know if I like you like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. And then they say, well, you should know that, you should know. Some would say, well, you should speak to them on the phone and blah, blah, blah. So you can know. Okay. But the problem with y'all is when we speak on the phone, then it becomes, all you want to do is speak on the phone. Well, how the hell am I going to get to know you? I gotta talk to you on the phone to see if you're worth spending money on a date. You know what I'm saying? If I'm gonna take you to this nice restaurant. So it's like, it's just all over the place. So at the end of the day, the thing that's happening now is that men are just speaking up more because they've gotten tired of hearing all the man slander. You know what I'm saying? And there's one thing hearing the man slander, but you still, able to get a woman. But now you hearing the man slander and then y'all trying to like stay away. You know what I mean? Shoot, y'all dating each other. So that's gonna end up happening. But read the next comment. Let me see. Well, I never heard them, but I listened to my friend and I'm seeing the message amplified now, which is good. Okay. Let me see for the new person that came in here. I'm gonna play some of the video again.
And for some reason, women think, no, I'm just gonna think that the success that they've amassed has somehow happened without them becoming devoid of a lot of the personality and relationships that men are devoid of. And they flex their accomplishments and money the same way men do. And somehow we make it different every time. Every time. No disrespect to you, but you didn't say about being a good woman. Nothing. We hear women come up and talk about that, bro. Didn't say nothing about. This is about a larger point. This is not about her as an individual. We don't hear, I'm successful, I got my degree, and I've been in therapy the last 3 years working out my issues. I just bought a house, and I also identified my childhood trauma, and it took inventory over my baggage, and I got it out the way. Oh, also, I'm loyal. My time management is on point. I do what I say I'm going to do. I'm considerate. We never hear any of it. What I hear is when say that y'all act like, when men say that y'all have turned into alphas, what we're talking about is the worst parts of manhood. Y'all have taken it on. Now, the problem with men is that we won't admit that those are the worst parts of us too. But shorty, y'all have taken the worst parts of what it means to be successful, and y'all wear that like a badge. Look at what it's done. Nothing. Why on us? If you need an example of what it looks like to only live in your accomplishments, look at the black men around you. You in a city full of them. Look at how devoid they are. Look at what it took them to get to where they are. Look at how underdeveloped some of them are emotionally. This is what you want? Is this what we're going to do, to let accomplishments be band-aids for that?
Yeah. So I guess that person left. They didn't want to hear that. Understandable. But this comment right here, not at all, but a lot of career women with money are very condescending. It's not their accomplishments that men are intimidated of. They just aren't nice people to men that make less than them. They look down on you and let you know it. Maybe not directly with their words, but definitely their actions. I've personally dated 2 wealthy career women and I didn't experience this, but one did not like to listen to me and hated admitting when she was wrong and I was right, and would let it be known often that she didn't need me. That in itself is very emasculating. Yeah, that's true. Definitely facts on them career women. Okay. Is this a woman? Let me see if this is a woman. I think so. Okay, so she put child. The room needs to get back. The room needs to get back full again. The reason why women do not have to, quote, lead with the things they have worked on is because it is known that women actually do that work. For him to hit an Uno reverse like women do internal and external work is not the norm. It's some bullshit. The reason why women are, quote, leading with their accomplishments is because society likes to downplay what women do and keep women in boxes. She doesn't get it. She doesn't get it. It doesn't matter what she just said as far as they like to, keep them down. If you're trying to attract a mate, that's what this whole thing is about. You want to attract a mate. You want to maintain this mate. You want to keep him. You throw in what you do as a form of you should want me because look at what I accomplished doesn't hold no weight, none at all. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. You could be the CEO of Nike. I mean, the only reason why I would care at that point is because maybe you got, millions upon millions. But guess what? If a man is, look, straight up, if a man is with a woman because of her money, and she's making a lot of it, he's going to be using some of that money to enhance his life, cars and all of that stuff, clothes and all of that, to get other women. That's a fact. Let's put it out there. If he would a woman because she has a lot of money, it's so I could stay, fresh and all that stuff, so I can get other women. Straight up. Because why? Like, your accomplishments mean nothing, because really your accomplishments. So that's one way to look at it. But the other thing is, what you accomplish doesn't matter, because typically, right, your money is not my money, even though my money typically is your money. So if you accomplish all of these things, that doesn't mean anything. And I get no credit for it. I get no credit, and your money is your money, right? If I'm with a woman and we together for 15 years and she accomplishes a lot of things in that time frame, no one, maybe she might give me a little credit, but no one is looking at her like, yo, I could tell you have a strong husband behind you, right? They just gonna look at that woman as she accomplished that. But if you flip it, a man, he becomes accomplished in the same time frame, they're gonna be like, oh, behind every strong man is a good woman. Like, why does she have to get the credit? You know what I'm saying? So when you accomplish stuff, I'm not getting any credit for it. Typically, it's not my money. You know what I'm saying? So why would we care? We don't have any reason to care about your accomplishments, because it doesn't benefit us. That's the thing. Our accomplishments benefits you, the woman, but your accomplishments does not benefit me in any way. So it doesn't matter that much. I'm not saying that like men are going to be jealous or anything, but we just don't care. It doesn't make us more attracted to you. You feel what I'm saying? Um, yeah, that's basically. I'm gonna finish reading that though. Just had to check real quick. Okay. Um, all he said is that no, where did I leave off? Where did I leave off? With their accomplishments is because society likes. Okay, yeah. He didn't say anything revolutionary. All he said is that women are now starting to stand on business and not be as nice. Not be as nice. That's always been a thing. And most of the time, women who've been accomplished, it's always been, an asshole to men. Like this, what is she talking about? Many women are starting to what? Decenter men? Ah, okay. And focus on their own goals and accomplishments. Men have never centered women. So to see women decentering them and behaving exactly like how men do is causing men to glitch. That's not true neither. Men have centered the whole reason why women have anything in this world is because men have always centered women. That's the reason why you're able to even be in the work field, because that's the reason why you can vote. Because you didn't earn it, you didn't go to war and fight for your rights to vote. It was given to you. The reason why you're able to work is because it was given to you. The reason why you have these luxury items, the bed you sleep in, the phone you talk on, all of the television, all of these different things is because men have always centered women. It's always been a thing. Always have centered women. And that's the reason why women are starting to do better is because they are able to be in the work field and focus on career and all of that stuff, right? But the thing is, when women are separated from men, they go through a breakup, they pour all their energy to distract themselves from that breakup into their career because they never truly centered men anyways. Men have always centered women. So when they don't have a woman or that particular woman that they want, right, they kind of go through a depression, a real deep depression. So it's hard for them to even get focused. And that's always been a thing. Men don't know how to focus when they don't have that woman or women in some instances where people feel like women are a distraction, but they can be if it's too many women and you pour too much of your energy into them, or if you have one woman who just sucks up your time, like she just distracts you. That's why a good woman for a man will keep him motivated, will keep him, on the right track. She won't allow him to veer off from his path, because he can easily do so because men center women. That's why now the whole thing has been to young men is saying, follow your dreams, pursue your path. You know what I'm saying? Always work on your purpose first. And then from there, you will find your woman. Never let that woman veer you off your path, because once you're veered off the path, if you start to diminish and she, surpasses you for whatever reason, she loses respect for you. Like, so what this lady's talking about is just makes no sense. Men have to realize if they would simply invest more time into dismantling patriarchy and less time trying to make women feel bad for centering themselves, life may be so very different. Yes, women do center themselves better than men do. That's a fact. That's the only thing I could agree with. That's why they end up going into their careers. But men have always centered women more. Like, you are the center of my attention. Women are always been the center of men's attention. You know what I'm saying? Always. But that's not the case the other way. Women, especially now, because now you don't have to rely on a man for what you need, because men overall made life easy, right? Because you don't got to go out and hunt your food and all of this different stuff anymore. Overall, you're just protected just from the laws and from men, so you don't have to cater to a man anymore. And it just shows how much women never really centered men anyway. In the first place, they always centered themselves first and foremost, and men have always centered their lives around women. And that's why we try to give so much, Yes, there are, we still live in a well, and the patriarchy is not quite the same in the Western world anymore. It's not quite the same because so many benefits that women have, even in the laws and stuff like that men just don't have. So I want to see what these comments, what some of these replies was to this person. Patriarchy and white supremacy are, in fact, brothers from another mother, but brothers just the same. It isn't a love of power that has patriarchy and matriarchy at odds. Power can be corruption. However, matriarchal societies have shown benefits for nothing. Is this the same person? Yeah, it's the same person. But however, she said benefits from nothing, men and women in those societies. The people as a collective thrive and excel. In patriarchal societies, the women suffer and the men excel, but only if they have access to certain people, places, and wealth. The gender war is being furthered not by the inability of men to fully acknowledge who harmful patriarchy is to all of us, including them. Okay. So she basically just responded to a lot of her stuff. You can center yourself and still be nice. That's the point. You just proved it. You're a terrible person. Using success as an excuse to be a shitty person, then telling men you're mad because we aren't nice anymore and focusing on yourself. Boom. You're right. She did say it. You're mad because we aren't nice anymore. So that means you are being mean. You can still be nice and not deal with men. You can still be nice and have a job. You can still be nice and focus on women. Okay, so that was, I want to see what she wrote. So what you are telling me is that men aren't nice because the crux of his argument was that women lead with their accomplishments like men do, and it causes people to not perceive them as nice. See how she flipped that? She flipped that, but it didn't make sense. He was just saying, you said that y'all mad because we not nice anymore. It didn't even have nothing to do with the whole, male accomplishments or anything. It's just, you said we're not nice anymore. He said you can still be nice. And then she now is saying, oh, so you're saying men are nice. This is the problem with it. How do you compute that in your head? And this is the problem. Like, how did you come up with that? How did she come up with that? It didn't make any sense. That's what you heard. That's what you heard. It's annoying. It causes people to perceive them as nice. For you to read what I wrote and make assumptions about my personality is fascinating. I don't even want to read the rest of what she wrote, but I just want to see what he came back with and said. T-Mode 2. Okay, let me see. All right, I don't know. I don't feel like reading all of that. But that's crazy that she even, I think he didn't even respond. He just figured it's no purpose. But I'm about to end this right here. So to tomorrow. Peace.